Godhead, Vasudeva, Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Malini Nama Pankaja Nitraya Namaste Pankajangriye. Hare Krishna. Did anyone find any difficulty in connecting? Was it straightforward?
Yes, Prabhu, it is easy.
Yes. So we set up the password just to have better connection and less interruptions. Okay, so glad it worked out smoothly. I'm very happy to know that. We are reading Granth Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, the behavior of a perfect person. So in the last reading, we read till text number 8, and these are the qualities of sannyasi, and how he is detached from the materialistic things and useless arguments, and he's at a Paramahamsa stage. So we were talking about the temple construction as well. So let's move on to the next verse, text number 9. Nayater ashramaha prayo dharma hetur mahatmanah shantasya samachittasya bibhriyad uta tyajit. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A peaceful, equipoised person who is factually advanced in spiritual consciousness does not need to accept the symbols of a sannyasi, such as the Tridanda and Kamandalu. According to necessity, he may sometimes accept those symbols and sometimes reject them. Purport. There are 4 stages of the renounced order of life: Kuti, Chaka, Bahudaka, Parivrajacharya, and Paramahamsa. Herein, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam considers the Paramahamsas among the sannyasis. The Mayavadi impersonalist sannyasis cannot attain the Paramahamsa stage. This is because of their impersonal conception of the absolute truth. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdyate. The absolute truth is perceived in 3 stages, of which Bhagavan, or realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is meant for the Paramahamsas. Indeed, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam itself is meant for the Paramahamsas, the Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Unless one is in the Paramahamsa stage, he is not eligible to understand the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. For the Paramahamsas or sannyasis in the Vaishnava order, preaching is the first duty. To preach, such sannyasis may accept the symbols of sannyas such as the danda and the kamandalu, or sometimes may not. Generally, the Vaishnava sannyasis, being Paramahamsas, are automatically called Babajis, and they do not carry a kamandalu. And they do not carry a kamandalu. Such a sannyasi is free to accept or reject the marks of sannyas. His only thought is, where is there an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness? Sometimes the Krishna consciousness movement sends its representatives, sannyasis, to foreign countries where the danda and kamandalu are not very much appreciated. We send our preachers in ordinary dress to introduce our books and philosophy. Our only concern is to attract people to Krishna consciousness. We may do this in the dress of sannyasis or in the regular dress of gentlemen. Our only concern is to spread interest in Krishna consciousness. Wow, such a beautiful verse, and tells about the real dharma of sannyasi or paramahamsas is to spread Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada is emphasizing that word to spread interest in Krishna consciousness like 3-4 times in this purport. In the small purport, Prabhupada is emphasizing that multiple times. So, yena kena prakarein, by somehow or the other, if we can inspire others based on, and now based on situations, we may have to take different steps. For example, Prabhupada is mentioning here that in India, sannyasi may carry a danda, which is absolutely fine, and people understand and respect, and they know sannyasi means carry the sannyasi staff. But in Western countries, some countries they mean, well, in the flight the danda maybe become a problem, and that what is this, a weapon? Are you going to hit someone with this? They don't understand what is this danda for. Or so if that becomes an obstacle in Krishna consciousness or in spread of Krishna consciousness, then the sannyasi may reject it. Because the goal is to bring people closer to Krishna consciousness. Sometimes Indradhanva Swami Maharaj or many sannyasis actually wear normal clothes which materialistic people wear, with the baseball hat, with normal shirt, pant, etc. Some brahmacharis also have to wear, preaching in tough countries where the garments of sannyasis may not be allowed. But their only goal is one: what? To spread Krishna consciousness. So the lesson here for us also is that somehow or the other, how we can be an instrument to spread Krishna consciousness. Now, and we may have to use different words based on situations to see what is the common ground I can connect on, how I can start that common conversation. Someone could be interested in, like how Nandini Kishori Mataji was sharing that how she is preaching to some environmental enthusiasts. They like to, to connect with environment, to nature, and planting, gardening, etc. So she takes them to the tour for the Alachua, the temple, and the village and cows, etc. And they like it, and then they become Krishna conscious slowly. Someone could be interested in cooking. Someone could be interested in yoga. Someone could be interested in music or philosophy or programs or some celebration or holy name or books. Prabhupada has given us so many ways to connect devotees, connect general masses to Krishna. Like we're trying to celebrate Janmashtami. So many people have registered, and it's a way for them to come closer to Krishna. They will hear from the pure Vaishnava Vaisheshika Prabhu. They will be getting prasadam. They will hear the holy name. They will see the deities of Krishna. And the hook was to participate in the fancy dress competition, because everyone, we have to see the common ground. And if we pray to Krishna, Krishna will give. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti. How, if we have this intention, how I can spread Krishna consciousness, how I can serve Srila Prabhupada, how I can do more, then Krishna will guide us, Prabhupada will guide us, and we'll be able to do what? Miracles. Any comments, additions? Anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Umesh. What is happening that authentication is not going properly? It keeps on asking, enter your email, and again keeps on asking same thing.
Prabhu, I had the same problem on my cell phone. I'm on computer now, and it is letting me connect. The same thing.
I'm getting on the computer and the cell phone, same thing. It is in the loop. As soon as I put the meeting ID, again it is asking me enter your email. I put the email ID, then it is going back to again saying that authentication requires one more thing. So it's going in that loop. But you continue, Prabhu. I will just try to connect, see how it's going. I don't want it to disturb that.
No, it's the first time, you know, we had a lot of issues. That's the reason I kind of added this extra layer of security, because of a lot of issues were happening in the last few days. Uninvited people were joining. Did everyone, is everyone here joining with laptop or computer or phones?
Computer, I did computer.
Computer.
I'm in the phone, Prabhuji, but it's I have to sign in. Email address, password, everything I have to provide.
Yeah, so I think I have to create an account probably. So Umesh Prabhu, you will have to create an account with Zoom, which is like a 1-minute process.
No, there is an option called sign up using your Gmail. So I'm going to the Gmail, but still not letting me in through the Gmail also.
Did you put the password?
Yeah. Everything I did it. But you
Close
guys
the
continue.
app. Close the entire app. Like close it and try again.
I'll try to.
I tried both ways, Prabhu, laptop and as well as phone. It is asking me to log in through a user like email address, and when I click Google, it took my profile, and then it asked me to enter my date of birth, and once I provided, it asked me to enter the meeting ID, meeting password, and as soon as I enter that, it allowed me to connect. I think the verification is not there for looks like Umesh Prabhu.
Force close the app, Prabhu. Thanks, Ekant Prabhu, for your inputs. Force close the app and try again.
I'll do, Prabhu.
Okay, any other comments on the last verse? I think it was very important, Prabhupada's emphasis on preaching. So 3 times is Prabhupada is mentioning in like a small purport.
So I was thinking as you were reading all this that if you don't mind, I can say a couple words.
Yes, absolutely, Prabhuji.
That sometimes people get a misunderstanding that the preaching is meant for those who are renounced or those who are brahmacharis or sannyasis, something like this, and other people cannot do much preaching. Of course, we know that's not the truth, but still people have that conception, especially when they first come in contact with Krishna consciousness. So I know my own personal experience is that from day one, I always felt I had to share Krishna consciousness with others. It was always going on. That was always the mood in Srila Prabhupada's presence and after that. And this is what makes it successful. People can relate to whoever you are, you know. You have your own friends, your own contacts, and people, sometimes they see you and they want to know, why are you so peaceful? Why are you always happy? Hopefully you're always happy and peaceful. And they want to know why. So then it's an opportunity to share something about Krishna consciousness. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. We will read the next verse. Would someone like to read text number 10? Ekant Prabhu, you want to start? Okay. Sudhir Prabhu? All right. Ekant Prabhu, you ready? Yes, you can read, Mataji. Yeah.
Text 10. Vyakta lingo avyaktarto she unmata balavat kavir mukhavat atmanam sadrisya darshaye Nrinam. Translation and Prabhupada divine way. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada teacher. Although a saintly person may not expose himself to the vision of human society.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you move microphone closer to your mouth?
Yes. Although a saintly person may not expose himself to the vision of human society, by his behavior, his purpose is disclosed. To human society, he should represent himself like a restless child, and although he is the greatest thoughtful orator, he should present himself like a dumb man. Purport. A great personality, very much advanced in Krishna consciousness, may not expose himself by the signs of a sannyasi. To cover himself, he may live like a restless child or a dumb person, although he is the greatest orator or a poet. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So the underlying principle is humility. As His Grace Mother and Prabhu was explaining, this demon of Keshi. Keshi wants to show I am better, I am a better devotee, I am this, I am great, I am a great orator, I am a great book distributor, I am a great kirtaniya, this. All these are externals. But the underlying principle is humility. And that doesn't mean that they should not speak. The idea is that they will speak when required, but with humility. Doing kirtan, doing book distribution, doing Bhagavatam class is all that is great when the underlying principle is humility. Rishabdev, acted like a dumb man, acted like a madman. That's what is mentioned, restless child. Jad Bharat also acted like a dumb man. So many examples are there. But when King Rahugana, the right time was there, then Jadabhara did speak and gave wonderful instruction. Rahugana could understand that this person is not an ordinary person, he is a great devotee. But the point is that humility is the essence. So no matter who we are, whether we are householder or sannyasi or anywhere in between, we should not blow our own trumpet. We should not say, oh, I am great and I deserve a lot of respect because I'm a better devotee. That's a Keshi demon within. But we should be like Hanuman. When required, he'll become greater than the greatest. When in the spirit of humility, he'll become smaller than the smallest. And knowing that needs a lot of maturity. So humility is the essence. Any other comments, thoughts, questions anyone has? So Dear Prabhu, you have raised your hand. You have a comment or you want to read the next one?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yeah, as you wonderfully said, humility, goes, and we have seen many examples, like as you said, Bharat Maharaj, and like who was in Jada and so the last moments of life is, and today also we saw, you might have seen Bhishma Dev Prabhu, mentioned how his Mataji left under the guidance of, and so I felt, very happy and in fact, of course, sad, but, Mataji got such a great opportunity to hear the direct message from Indra Swami Maharaj. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Okay, looks like more devotees are able to connect, which is good.
Yes.
Would someone like to read text 11?
Yeah, I can read.
Baswati Mataji, you can go after Sudhir Prabhu. Yeah, please start.
That's okay, Prabhuji. You want me to go or Mataji?
You can read this one and she can read the next one.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Atrape udaharantimam itihasam puratanam prahartasya cha samvadam mune rasya cha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation and purport. As a historical example of this, learned sage recite the story of an ancient discussion between Prahlad Maharaja and a great saintly person who was feeding himself like a python. Purport. The saintly person met by Prahlad Maharaja was undergoing Ajagara Vritti, the living conditions of a python, which does not go anywhere but sits in one place for years and eats whatever is automatically available. Prahlad Maharaja, along with his associates, met a great saint and spoke to him as follows. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji has, I think I understood here. Prabhupada is giving an example of how a learned sage, recites a story of, the Prahlad Maharaj, who was a great Mahajan by himself, and and a great saintly person. So here Prabhupada is giving an example of a, living conditions of a python who cannot move and just eats, anywhere. So just reading this, I got a remembrance of how Aghasura was just sitting there like a python, and how Lord Krishna killed him with ease. Please explain, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sudhir Prabhu, for reading. So, quick question: who is speaking this to whom? Who will answer that? You can unmute.
Narad Muni is speaking this to Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So Narad Muni is now about to share a story, because he knows that Kali Yuga beings, they like stories. They can't reach too much philosophy. So he's sharing a story about his own disciple. That's the non-envious nature. The guru likes to glorify his own disciple, because he's such a great or extraordinary disciple like Prahlad Maharaj. Now the story will come. Narad Muni is telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj. First, he shared the qualities of that sannyasi, the Paramhamsa or Avaduta. And the word used here is Ajgar Vritti. Vritti means nature. Ajgar is python. So taking the occupation or the nature of a python, whatever comes by one's own accord, he takes it. And if Krishna has destined for me, it will come. So it's a good principle, of course, that shows that we should not over-endeavor. That does not mean we stop working, but we should not over-endeavor for materialistic things. Because we have discussed time and again that 99% of the things are pretty much fixed. How much wealth one will get, how much name, fame one will get, the body, the wife, the husband, the children. It's one should not endeavor too much, like over endeavoring, over working, overdoing things, and missing on Krishna consciousness. That should not be the idea. Atyahara prayasascha. So over endeavoring is too much endeavor. To prayas, I'll get this. Work hard, more hard, more harder. Work hard, party harder. All this is demoniac materialistic philosophy. Devotees, as aspiring sadhakas, yes, we should work our dutiful endeavor and invest more time, energy in our own Krishna consciousness and sharing, spreading, as Prabhupada said in the previous verse. So, any other comments, questions anyone has before we begin this wonderful story by Narad Muni?
Just one comment. That is, sometimes we hear about Buddhist monks that travel, and they seem to be imitating this mood of taking whatever happens. But their mood is like, well, whatever food people feed me, I'll eat that. Whether it's veg or non-veg, I'll just take whatever is given to me. So these kind of examples, this kind of conclusion is not what's being explained here. We have to get the right meaning from these examples given by Narada Muni.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, yes, Bhaswati Mataji, you want to read next two verses?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandavat Pranam. I'm reading texts 12 to 13. Tam sayanam dharopasthe kaveryam sahaye sunani rajas valestanu dishar nigudhamala tejasham dadarsa lokan vicharan loka tadva vivitsaya bhrato mattayaha katipayaha prarado bhagavata priyaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prahlad Maharaja, the most dear servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, once went out touring the universe with some of his confidential associates just to study the nature of saintly persons. Thus he arrived at the bank of the Kaveri, where there was a mountain known as Sevaya. There he found a great saintly person who was lying on the ground, covered with dirt and dust, but who was deeply spiritually advanced. So here in this text and in this chapter, as Narada Muni is telling Yudhishthir Maharaj how will be the behavior of a perfect Krishna conscious person. So the Krishna conscious person should be very humble. And one Maharaja was giving his lecture. I forgot his name, but he was telling that a Krishna conscious person would be like a grass. It's in the street, and someone put their feet on the grass, and after that, the grass will become again straight. So a devotee, a Krishna conscious person should be very, very humble and without showing none of his knowledge and unnecessary pride. Back to you, Prabhuji. Please correct me if I say anything wrong.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading. Narad Muni is a great storyteller. He has stories for every episode. And it's a great lesson for all of us. We all must be great storyteller. A parent must be great storyteller. Telling stories is a very, very good way of teaching anything. So we must try. And adding details. One time Radhana Swami Maharaj was explaining, okay, if we just tell, okay, he met person at some place. But Narad Muni is going in detail. Oh, on the banks of Kaveri, once upon a time, he was touring the universe. And then he reached to Sevaya mountain. There he found this person. So you should be, very, very adding detail adds rasa to the story, adds flavor, and it's good. I was discussing with one of the devotees recently. Narad Muni is telling the story, and Prahlad Maharaj, with his associates, was traveling. He could understand that although this person was covered with dirt, but he could understand. So I'll tell you one more story, which is a great story about we see what we are. Once upon a time, there was a sadhu, a saintly person, was sleeping under a tree at the outskirts of a village. And there happened to come a thief. And the thief was running and running, and then he found this person. He said, oh, he must be a thief. And he must have stolen something. And now he's trying to, while he must be trying to escape from the village where he stole some stuff, he must have been tired, and now he's resting here under the tree. Oh, he must be a thief. And then finally he moved on. A little while later, a drunkard came rolling around and hardly able to balance himself, and had like fully drunk, and he said, oh, look at this person. He must be a drunk. and he must not be able to balance himself, and now he is lying under this tree, and then so the drunkard thought he's a drunk. And then finally a sadhu came. The sadhu said, "Oh, look at this divine person. Look at the countenance on his face. Look at his wonderful body. He must be a great sadhu. He must have been tired by the day's service of the deities and the Vaishnavas, and now he's taking some rest to recuperate so that he can serve more." So the idea is, it takes one to know one. The world is a reflection of our own consciousness. If I am honeycombed with fault, because as Thakur said, I look for faults in others because I am honeycombed with faults. If one has a pure heart, one will see everything positive. But if one is filled with problems, one will see those problems in others. So we look others what is in our heart. Like the drunkard saw the sadhu as drunkard, the thief saw the sadhu as a thief, and the genuine sadhu saw him in a truest perspective. So here, Prahlad Maharaj, although this person was externally covered with dirt and dust, but the Prahlad, being a Mahajan, a great devotee, could understand that yes, he is not an ordinary person. On the contrary, we see to Rishabdev, people used to, throw stones at him or, beat him, or he would not be bothered. But will anyone beat or throw stones at a saintly person? But they thought him as an ordinary person because they were covered with their own faults. So we should not judge the externals. We should go deeper and try to fix our own self, because the world is a reflection of our own consciousness and we see others what we are. Any comments, questions? Do you like the story?
Yes,
This
Prabhuji.
is from a book called Value-Based Story. We had some devotees at our home recently and we were reading this and doing. It's a small story, but very deep lesson, I believe. So Umesh Prabhu wants to read, please, Prabhu. Is your connection good now?
Yeah, looks like.
Perfect. We are so happy to know that.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, text number 14. Karmana kruti bhirva cha lingar varna sramadhipi na vidanti jana yambe so swa iti na veti cha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Neither by that saintly person's activities, by his bodily features, by his words, nor by the symptoms of his varnashrama status could people understand whether he was the same person they had known. Purport: the inhabitants of that particular place, on the bank of the Kaveri, in the valley of the mountain known as Sevaya, were unable to understand whether that saint was the same man they had known. It is therefore said, Vaishnava vare kriya mudra vine na bhuje. A highly advanced Vaishnava lives in such a way that no one can understand what he is or what he was, nor should attempt be made to understand the past of Vaishnava. Without asking the saintly person about his previous life, Prahlad Maharaja immediately offered him respectful obeisances. So here we can see that Prahlad Maharaja has come to the bank of the Kaveri, and they saw that same person there. And as you said rightly, Prabhu, it takes one, it to knows one very well. I guess it depends on our consciousness, how fully we are situated in our consciousness to understand the person whom we are visibly seeing. sometimes, and most of the time, we do basically just by judging the person by looking his dress, looking his hairstyle, or looking his some kind of the behavior, and we come to the conclusion that such and such person might be this person. But here the lesson we should learn that no one, as an advanced Vaishnava, uh, one should not really attempt to understand what is past. And here we can see that Prahlad Maharaja, without even asking that his previous life, or doesn't matter what varnashrama he is, belongs to which varnashrama ashram he is, but Prahlad Maharaja went ahead and immediately offered him a respectful obeisances. So this gives us a clues us that how to basically judge the other people without even coming to the conclusion quickly. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Umesh Prabhu. It's a very nice verse. Kiba vipra kibanyasa shudra kenenoi, ye Krishna tattva veti say guru hoy. So we should not, guru does not mean, oh, it has to be from Indian body, oh, it has to be from American body, white body, yellow body, black body. All these are externals. Oh, or even there are Grihastha gurus and there are sannyasi gurus or vanaprastha gurus. So the essence is Krishna consciousness. Does not matter the external symptoms. And Prahlad Maharaj could understand, but others could not understand. Because it is very Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bhuja. People cannot understand. And often people may say, oh, he used to do this in the past. Well, the past does not matter. Every saint had a past. Every saint has a future. So if someone is now practicing Krishna consciousness and we say, oh, well, in the past he was a drug addict. So what? Past does not matter in bhakti. We all had done so many, even in this life, one may say, oh, I was born in a very nice culture, in very pakka, I have not touched meat, I have not. What about the previous lifetimes? We may have done so many bad things. We don't even recall them. So one should not focus on the past. Rather, as His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj was also explaining, that if someone is in a shower and still there is some dirt, will we focus more, oh, you still have dirt. But an intelligent person will see, well, he's in the shower, the dirt it's just a matter of time, the dirt will come off. So we should not try to be judgmental and try our best to not judge others and only find fault in ourselves and try to improve and not see faults in others. And as Prahlad Maharaj is offering his respectful obeisance, we must give all respects to others and expect none in return. Yes, Nandini Mataji wants to speak something. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. What I really liked in the last verse is Prahlad Maharaj is himself so saintly, but he went out touring in the universe just to study the nature of the saintly person. I really like this scrutinizingly studying Bhagavatam, studying other saintly persons is so important. And the other thing in this verse I liked is, like you said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bhujaya. So some people still have really hard time understanding why Bhakti Charu Swami traveled, why Prabhupada traveled during his last days. But this is really important to understand, is that we can't really understand Vaishnavas and what is Lord's greater plan for them. Thank you, Prabhu. Back to you. I don't know why my video doesn't show up. Oh, I guess less light. Okay.
The light is, yeah. So thank you so much, Mataji, for your comments. Anyone else has any other comments or questions? Okay, let's read the last verse for today and then we will stop. Would someone like to read, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read.
Okay. Please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Text 15. Tam natva bhyarchya vidhivat padayo sirasya sparshan vivitsur idam aprakshin mahabhagavato suram. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The advanced devotee Prahlad Maharaja duly worshipped and offered obeisances to the saintly person who had adopted a python's means of livelihood. After thus worshipping the saintly person and touching his own head to the saint's lotus feet, Prahlad Maharaja, in order to understand him, inquired very submissively as follows. So it's very self-explanatory. What stands out in this verse is how Prahlad Maharaj is such an exalted devotee, but he's taking a very humble position and even taking the dust off the lotus feet of the saintly person who is taking the practice of what we have seen with Jada Bharat or Prithu Maharaj, not like a Vaishnava, but covered in dust and not externally not looking like a Vaishnava, but internally saintly. So it shows how Prahlad Maharaj focuses on the internals more than the externals. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you so much for summing it up, focusing on the internal than the external. He could see, because he was a pure devotee, he could see that this person is a pure devotee also. I was thinking of, when we go to Govardhan Parikrama. How many of you have done Govardhan Parikrama? You can raise your hand. Okay, Nandini Mataji. So only one person has done, and I believe Ramya Prabhu must have done. So
me too, Prabhu.
Yeah, also done. That's great. So life is short. Please plan. I know this is Corona time, but I'm not saying now, but next year or whenever things get normal, at least should do Govardhan Parikrama. So coming back to, on the Parikrama path, you will find many, many devotees in their own way. And, some have just a loincloth or just a gamcha, and there's some living in just like a hand cart, very, very austere. And there's a group of blind devotees. They are doing Akhanda Kirtan. Khanda means break. Akhanda means without break. They are doing Kirtan, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without, and they're all blind with, they are chanting, they're playing Mridanga, one is playing Kartal. So my point was that sometimes a fool like me may judge, why they're doing this, why they're not doing this, why they don't have tilak, or why they don't this, because it is all my faults, and I may try to see others in those faults because it is the keshi. I think I am better. I think, the world should go my way. That's the keshi within. But trying to understand that every person, and that's actually the quality of Paramahamsa. They try to see the spirit, the what to speak of this great devotee. They try to see the hand of God in every aspect. They try to see the spark, like how Prabhupada saw the spark of Krishna consciousness in his early disciples, who had a lot of challenges, but Prabhupada saw the good. A great person sees only good in others, although there may be a lot of bad things. But he focuses on the good and magnifies that, makes that spark to a volcano of bhakti. That's a top class, only sees good. One class below sees the good, sees the bad, but focuses on the good, ignores the bad. One class below sees good, sees bad, glorifies the good, and also points out the bad sometimes. One other class, one level down, sees the good, sees the bad, forgets the good, only does the bad. And the lowest does not see anything good, only sees bad. So we can choose. At least we try to be in the second class. We see the good, we see the bad, but we focus on the good. And we focus on the bad in ourselves. Because if we focus on good in others, that will come in our lives. But if we focus on bad in others, that will come in our lives. Duryodhana and Yudhishthira, this famous story. Duryodhana was told by Dronacharya, go and find someone worse than you. Or sorry, better than you. Is there someone better than you? Can you please bring that person here? Okay. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was told, find someone who is bad than you or worse than you. Then they both came empty-handed. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj went to so many people, like, a washerman, a layman, and everywhere he was seeing good. This person is so hardworking. This person is so humble. This person is so nice devotee. And Duryodhana was saying, oh, this person has this fault. Oh, this person has that fault. Oh, I am better. I am a best. No one is more good than me. So whether we want to become like Duryodhana or Yudhishthira, that choice is ours. We will see what is in our heart, we will see in others. Any other comments, questions before we stop for today?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one question is like, if a person who is in one side of the spectrum is put with another person who's in the other side of the spectrum, it seems like the good person will never see the bad in the bad person, and the bad person will still find faults with the good person, and it goes into a downward spiral. Like the bad person will never improve. The good person may feel demotivated. So how can we solve that problem?
Humility is the biggest weapon. It changes the heart. Should I tell you one more story? You like stories, right? Once upon a time, there was a great devotee, and he took a bath in the holy river. He was coming, and then there was another person who was very, very envious. Such a great devotee, and he was always seeing faults. He was sitting on the first floor or the second floor, as per US. So from the top of the lanai, he spat on this person who had just taken a bath. And this person didn't say anything. He went back to the river, the holy river, took bath again. This person, now his anger was more. Well, he didn't even, sometimes when a person is angry and you don't respond, the person feels more angry, right? Because, so he went back again to the river and then came again, took bath. Boom, this person spat again. Quiet and humble. Third time, goes to the river to take bath. Comes back. There he goes again. He spat again. His saliva is like, it's dirt. It's bad. It's goes again. 18 times this happens. When he came the next time, this person's had a transformation of heart. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. A Jamal story we recently read. Worst and the best example. Transformation of heart happens. When one is sincere, Kṛṣṇa will empower. Narad Muni didn't see bad in Ajamil. And Ajamil saw, oh, you must have come to take some skin, huh? Let me give you some deer skin or lion skin. What skin you want? He thought that he thought he wants something from me. He has come to get something. And since his business was skin, he thought this person will also take skin. So, and many other such examples. Prabhupada, your devotee, and his audience was not so Brahmanical, not so cultured, at least externally. Yes, they had the fire of devotion, but someone tried to kill Prabhupada. Someone tried to steal his typewriters. So many challenges he underwent, life-threatening situations. But with the power of devotion, which a saintly person carries, the transformation of heart happens with this prayer, with this, because they are everyone's well-wisher. So certainly, the saintly person will not fall down because he is at a very high state. If someone spits at sun, whom is that person spitting at? If someone blames the moon, Chand mein daag, it will diminish the beauty of the moon. So, does that answer, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
can I just add something?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
Thank you, Prabhu. At the same time, please try to make sure that you don't get discouraged. It's really important. And like Guru Maharaj also says, Radhanath Swami, it's also important to offer dandavats to Vaishnavas with whom you may not get along from distance. You can also avoid their association if you can. So it's not, we don't have to beat ourselves down the bush with the stick of humility if we are not at that stage yet. Does that help?
Yes, Mataji, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments, question before we end today's call? Okay, so tomorrow is very special day. It is Shri Kṛṣṇa Janmashtami. So we have very special program from 5 to 7:30 on ISKCON Tampa Facebook group. Different devotees are doing kirtan, and from 8 p.m. onwards till, guess what time? 8 to what time will we end, or what time should we end?
Midnight.
Midnight. Will pass midnight, so the arati will be at midnight. And who all wants to be engaged in Kṛṣṇa Janmashtami from 8 p.m. onwards? You can raise your hands. So we will have Krishna Katha, we will read from Krishna book, we will have Kirtan, we will have more chanting, we will have dancing. So we will have wonderful celebrations, we will read, hear, sing, dance, chant, and do final arati at 12. And then, of course, you can take some prasadam after that. That you'll have to manage yourself. For others, we will do it together. So I wish you all a very happy Janmashtami. So let's absorb our full day tomorrow in Krishna consciousness by more chanting, more reading, more serving, doing abhishek at home. If you have some deities like Dugopal, if you don't have deities, put pictures and offer flowers, etc. Reading bhajans, prayers with kids, doing drama, and just making some nice offerings for the Lord. Just yenikin prakarena, trying to please Krishna because it's his birthday. So, and from 8 p.m. onwards, we will do on the Zoom call.